So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. We are going to share the show later on. My next guest is a newbie. I have with me Ian Higby. He's the owner of Higby Health Insurance. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thanks, Carol. My name is, again, obviously Ian Higby. So I'm a health insurance advisor. I do my best to just help families understand the kind of the complex world of health insurance, how coverages work, and then the different advantages to different products, policies, kind of what options are available to them.
Well, it's interesting. I like your first question that you want, because you say that you want to talk a little bit about health insurance for healthy people.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be sick. You need it. Everybody needs it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people think of health insurance as, you need it when you're sick. But, the best time to have health insurance is to get it when you are young and healthy. There are far better products, differential products, to where you can have, again, healthy health insurance, or you can have a sick care system. So it just depends on exactly what your family needs are, as well as how a policy can kind of grow with you and your family.
A lot of people today go online, they go and do it themselves. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that that's absolutely fantastic. I think that having that opportunity and that availability for people to understand what's available, but in the same token, there's lots of different nuances, questions that can come up. People may or may not understand the types of policies and coverages that are out there. So that's one of the things that I do at Higby Health Insurance, is really just going to go in line by line and let people know what products are available, what's really out there, if that makes any kind of silly sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense, but I also think it's very important for people to understand that you don't know what you don't know.
That's exactly correct.
And that's really the big problem when it comes to
Absolutely.
this. Can you do it? Yeah, but are you going to get the best for you? You may not know that.
That's exactly it. You may not know.
Now, you do free consultations. You're valley-wide. His website is higbyhealthinsurance.com. His phone number is 602-670-3395. So full coverage versus limited benefit products.
Well, it's exactly that. Many people, when they're shopping for insurance, if you are price shopping, then more than likely you're going to wind up with a limited benefit product. Limited benefit products, they are not necessarily a poor product, but they're exactly what they sound like. Limited benefit. You're not going to have the full coverage options. When many people hear about claims getting denied, things of that nature, it's generally speaking because the policy never had those benefits. So just kind of one of those, be wary if you're price shopping for insurance policies, then you're more than likely going to wind up with a limited benefit product. Full coverage products are exactly that. They're going to have stopgaps, max out of pockets, co-pays, things of that nature. So,
But it might be much better.
Absolutely, it's going to be better.
But people are always cutting costs.
That's exactly it.
Employer options.
Well, most employers offer, obviously, health care for their employees, but what a lot of people don't realize is the benefits aren't always going to be as well for spouse and dependents. So we can have a private market PPO come in and basically take care of a spouse and dependent for a lower or differential rate than the employer option is going to be granting that individual. So again, oftentimes employer options are wonderful and beneficial, but can be expensive for spouse and dependent policies.
Now here's a good one. Definition of health insurance.
Health insurance is insuring risk. So, health insurance companies will offer a premium rate for coverage moving forward. So, like one of the little stories I like to share with many of my clients is I have a coworker. He actually injured his hip. He has wound up getting a full hip replacement procedure. That was here in the Valley, and it was actually in October. That procedure was about $150,000. His premium's only about $450 a month. So he is actually invested, or the insurance company has invested in him, ultimately 35 years worth of premium payments. So that's where getting a policy when you're young and healthy, where you actually have built a relationship with an insurance company that's going to be there for you moving into the future.
And if you can imagine, was this person older or younger?
Younger.
Younger. And, we got a lot of people who are us old folks out there, and things like these mostly happen, I know, to older folk.
That's absolutely correct.
The line to call him is 602-670-3395. The website is higbyhealthinsurance.com. He does free consultation, and he works valley-wide. Government market versus private market options?
Well, the government market is exactly that. So, like when you were just mentioning, Carol, people can kind of go and look at insurance products themselves. Generally speaking, they're going to be finding a product from healthcare.gov. Healthcare.gov is a wonderful resource for many different products, but again, you have to look at the fine print. There's going to be differential, what's what I'm looking for, deductibles versus $0 deductibles versus gold, silver, bronze tier. So it can be a little confusing. There are certain pharmacopoeias that are going to be in and out of different networks, as well as doctors, things of that nature. So,
what is split policies?
well, that's kind of what we had referenced a few moments ago. When it comes to having an employer option, we can differentiate or split the family into two separate policies, granting a lower overall cost while maximizing overall benefits.
Now, when you're listening to this, it's so important I love this show, and I really do, and I think I say it almost every show. And the reason is because of the information. And you get something here, maybe give this guy a call if you've been thinking about it. If you don't have insurance, you gotta have it, you should have it. But also make sure that you're covered correctly. That's another thing that's
exactly
very,
it.
very
Yep,
important.
You got it, Carol.
Again, that phone number is 602-670-3395. It's Higby. Healthinsurance.com. He does free consultations and he's valley-wide. Accident and critical illness writers.
Well, exactly that. A lot of people don't realize that the primary use for insurance is going to be for accident injuries. It's when you slip and fall. It's not the stuff that you're anticipating. I mean, again, albeit the big stuff like the cancers and things like that, that's obviously something we're wanting coverage for, but generally speaking, it's going to be broken bones, things of that nature. So pound for pound, having an accident protection is going to be very important, and that's something that's called a rider that you can add to pretty much any existing policy that grants additional benefits.
I don't know if I even ever knew something like that. You see, you learn something every day. Where else but on Networking Arizona? Now, you've got this one, policy reviews, free consultations, and you're here to help. Let's talk about that.
Well, quite literally. You can have an existing policy. A lot of people, again, don't even know what they're working with. They don't know what benefits they have. Hopefully, they've worked with an agent similar to myself, or again, if they're looking for a new agent, that's kind of what I'm here for, to just review your existing policy, make sure you actually have the coverage where you need it.
I think that's important.
Yeah, and if not, we can always have a discussion about, what you could do to improve your existing policy.
Here's the thing, too, is a lot of people have a policy with a company for years. And they don't change because, I like to stay with them,
You go with what you know.
Yeah,
it's easy.
It's easy, but also the older folks tend to not want change.
Yeah.
But the way that I see things, especially in the world that we live in, you really got to check it all the time.
Absolutely. People don't realize doctors move in and out of networks, insurance carriers change their overall coverages. Again, there are grandfathered policies, but they generally speaking will get more expensive over time because people have moved out of those policies. So just kind of keeping up to date, no different than anything else. You have to kind of stay on top of all of these things, especially when they are insuring risk and future risk.
And also the cost right now, especially where everybody's, thinking about the cost of everything. Insurance, you have to have it, but you could literally have a consultation here and get yourself checked out. See if he can find you something that might be better, not only for your coverage, but maybe even your cost.
That's exactly correct. And in the same token, there are many policies that are wonderful. So you may be in a really good spot.
Right.
And just having that reassurance that, this is going to be a great product moving forward and it's going to carry us into the future.
Real quick question too.
Yes, of course.
Somebody has, let's say, a policy and it expires, let's say, in a couple of months or whatever. Does it matter when they change, or do they have to wait?
It just depends on the products that are available as well as what that individual needs. That's kind of what I do at Higby Health Insurance, is we just see where everyone is and try to find the best fit moving forward.
So the best thing to do is to have a free consultation, have it checked out for sure. Everybody should have that. It's like a second set of eyes.
That's exactly it.
Right? And you come to them, or how does that work?
Generally speaking, nowadays we can do it over the phone. Obviously with Zoom being so ubiquitous, we can always just do a screen share, as well as in person if that's something that makes you feel comfortable. Of course, all of the above, or you can head down to the office.
Where are you located?
I'm actually just up the road.
So not everybody that's listening knows where up the road is, so can you just tell them really quickly?
It's over in the Biltmore district, right off of 16th Street.
Perfect.
In Lincoln.
You are right down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so the phone number to call, write this number down, because you really should, first of all, if you don't have health insurance, please get it, but also get yourself a second opinion. It's a really good idea to do. 602-670-3395. It's HigbyHealthInsurance.com.